On today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Hot Toys Batman DX09 1/6 scale collectible figure. Spot has already done a review of Joker. I really should have done Batman first, but it just worked itself out that I had Joker more readily available at the time that I was shooting the review, so I decided to do Joker first, but was really excited about getting Batman opened and reviewed. The box is very similar to what Joker was. You kind of have a faint outline, faint image of Batman the Caped Crusader, and there's a couple of images down below which you might probably not see as well. The box itself is interesting enough because it seems like it's partly black, but then it's kind of got this opal kind of, I don't know, it's got a different sheen to it where it's kind of got like an off-gray coloring. When we turn around the side of the box, also indicated, which Spot would love to get, is the uniquely crafted for Batman, coming soon, yes, the 89, right down there, the 89 Batmobile, which fits actually not only Batman, but also a secondary character as well. So, and then on the back, no real information, just aside from choking hazard information, indicating this is a Hot Toys product produced by Hot Toys Limited, 2012. And when we open up the box, now the only thing that you'll notice differently in this box versus the reviews that I've already done of Hot Toys product is that the figure is not going to be present. I've already taken Batman out and have had him out on display for a little bit. There is a very bright yellow on the inside, the motif of Batman and the marketing of the 89 Batman movie. A lot of it was yellow and black based. The read-up says, witnessing his parents being murdered on the streets of Gotham City in his childhood, Bruce Wayne vows to avenge their deaths against crime as costumed dark vigilante Batman. Under the control of the Joker criminal empire, Gotham City is full of gloominess and fearfulness. Batman starts his battle against the greatest foe, interfering with his evil plans, running from poisoning scheme to finally eliminate him with high-tech crime-fighting equipment. Promised to defend Gotham City, he will appear whenever the bat signal shows up high in the sky. 1/6 scale collectible figure. On the side, on the other side here, which is blinding a bit, it says only one will claim the night. Now, very similar to Joker, this Batman logo actually will be removed. So I suppose if you wanted to, if you could project this in front of a light and have the light cascading in the background, you can have the bat symbol essentially shining behind or onto Batman, which would be kind of a neat idea. And I don't know if that was the intention when they made something like this, but that would certainly be a great idea. Putting that back into place and moving that out of the way. The only thing still present in the Batman card here is the interchangeable faces, which Spot will show you in a second. Of course, the Batman would sit in there, and then accessories would sit behind the foam layer that the Hot Toys is currently sitting in, or at least when you get him, he would be sitting inside. Some features: he has parallel eyeball rolling system, PERS, translucent iris, authentic likeness of Michael Keaton as Batman, highly detailed paint applications, classic Batman facial expressions. Of course, the DX09 Batman body features newly developed Batman body with 30 points of articulation, movie accurate bat suit with cape and classic Batman logo. Artist, by the way, head and body sculpted by Pan, head painting by G.C. Hong, head art directed by Kojun and Jocks, and of course produced by Hot Toys. So what Spot's going to do is he's going to take a break. He's going to get the Batman all set up with all of his accessories, and certainly when we come back, Spot's very happy to bring you his review of the DX09 1/6 scale collectible figure of Batman. There's definitely more to come. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And included with Batman, reaching off camera here, included with Batman is the same display base that was included with Joker. Indicated though on the front via a name plate. It says Batman MMSDX. Batman logo in the front there in the yellow and black. Obviously the logo on the bat symbol is different than that of Batman. For the marketing of the Batman movie, The bat symbol did vary from that of the suit. The suit had the extra prongs on the bottom of, I suppose if you want to consider it the bat tail, versus the marketing campaign Batman had the singular point. I still like, even though they didn't use this logo on Batman himself, I did like that logo. I liked that extra little piece. Funny enough, though, when we originally had this movie coming out in promotional posters, it was one of the earlier movies that I remember where the poster itself for an advertisement was just a symbol. It was just strictly a symbol. And I remember walking by with my dad, and he looked over and he said, "I don't understand, is that a pair of teeth?" And it was always that running gag that if you look at it a certain way, if you only saw the black elements of it, it kind of looked like teeth. Whereas if you look at the yellow parts, obviously you can see the Batman logo. I think I understand that the yellow and the black was again a carried on tradition with the marketing campaign for Batman, but I would have liked to have seen this in maybe a gold or something like that as well. But I'm still happy with the base. The front trackballs do move. You can move them front, back, left, and right, and then they would project a light via a batteries that you have to change in the bottom there. So once you change the batteries, you can have that light up. There's a switch on the back. Also featured on the back is the same as every other stand in the fact that you have the clamp bar here, which unfortunately my neck here is just a little bit loose. I might have to just glue that a slight bit. But the neck here clamps out, and then you can clamp it to the back of the figure or whatnot. So you have the display base. Very happy with how that turned out. Putting that aside. Putting that to the side. Let me just put that back in there for a second. Again, Spot's it just came loose, so Spot's just going to put a little bit of glue in there and all will be well. So that's alright. Putting that aside, Batman does have a lot of accessories. We'll just put that stand to the side for a second. Batman does have a slew of accessories. Some of them have now fallen. Having a look at the accessories themselves before we actually have a look at the Batman. For starters, you get yourself, he comes with 6 interchangeable hands. 6 interchangeable hands that you can change out with the Cape Crusader. They are fairly easy and consist of a couple of open hands. You've got a couple of gripping hands, probably intended for the grapple gun. More closed-in hands, and I'm assuming that's probably going to be for his communicator remote control. More of an open hand for, I guess, him reaching out, which actually would be a nice hand to utilize. So there's a couple of different hands. He does have, as with most Hot Toys figures tend to have, is he has a couple of additional pegs for the wrists. So either the hands will likely come out with the pegs, or if you end up having any issues where those pegs break, you've got 2 extras to rely on. Other accessories, and there's going to be a lot. There's a lot of accessories involved. He does have, let's go through these together. He does have the grapple gauntlet utilized in the art exhibit where Vicky Vale is waiting for Bruce Wayne. Doesn't turn out, obviously, to be Bruce Wayne. It turns out to be Joker and his thugs. I would say hilarity ensues. Hilarity does not ensue, but Batman comes down, frees Vicky Vale. He hops down, sticks this in front of Joker, and then these deploy out, shooting the cables this way. Which never quite made sense to me, how he pointed this at Joker, this shot out this way, and then it was able to raise him and he'd deploy across it. I don't know, but it's a nice accessory to include in the fact that with a lot of the Hot Toys figures, what you're really going to get is they pretty much will encompass all the aspects in the movie. So even if you see at some point a character holding something, likely the Hot Toys is going to come included with that. Actually, if you want to have Batman holding that, you're just going to move his cape out of the way, and just going to move his arm forward. It's a little stiff, and it will be something I'll get into later. But you can take the gauntlet here, and ever so slightly, you can clamp it into his arm like so. I think it actually goes down a little further like that. This is not an accessory I would be sure to have displayed with Batman, but I'm glad they did it. I'm glad if anything can be said, I'm glad that they include accessories. Even if you're not going to use them, it's nice that they take the liberty to include them. I know you're looking forward to getting into Batman. I'll quickly get through this, I promise, and we'll talk about Batman. He does come with a couple of bat shurikens. I'm not sure. I don't remember when he used these in the movie. I know he fights like a samurai kind of guy in the alleyway, but he doesn't, as far as I know, I don't remember him ever using these throughout the course of the movie. But he does come with those. Other accessories he comes with several gas capsules, which looks like it has a little bit of something in there. Just a solid plastic piece, but some really nice detailing on the capsule itself until Spot drops it. Other accessories, he comes with a bomb or a detonating device. This is also something that Spot does not quite remember in the original '89 Batman movie. The closest thing I could think of, and this has anything to do with the '89 Batman movie, but the closest thing I can recall is Batman cutting a bomb off one of the goons, but it's more like sticks of dynamite from Batman Returns. This, again, I'm not quite certain. He does also come with, there it is right there. Let's get the camera to focus there. He does also come with the Bat remote control that he uses for the Batmobile. Looks really cool when he's standing there with Vicky Vale and he just kind of, the car's coming right at him and he just holds up and goes, stop, and then the car stops. I think that's kind of neat. Little Bat logo on the bottom there. A little red light. He does also come with, I know there's even more, he does also come with this. He comes with the stopper. This would be what he extends out from the hand while he's fighting the guy with his two blades. Batman's matching skills with the guy with the swords, and then all of a sudden, boom, this comes out and hits him right in the face. And lastly, I guess well, actually not quite lastly, he does also come with a Batarang, which my only disappointment with the Batarang is the fact that it doesn't fold out. Had this been hinged, and I know it would have made this very fragile, but had this been hinged where he could actually fold it open and throw it like he does in the beginning of the movie, that would have been really cool, but still nice. It comes with a rope. Nice piece. And finally, of the weapon accessories, he does come with his grapple gun. Despite all the fact that all the accessories you do get with the Batman, the one thing I'm actually surprised he doesn't come with is some of the attachments for the grapple gun. This piece comes off like so, and you have your two separate pieces. This handle does extend out. Like so. Sorry, this piece, oh, you know what? That's why. This piece hinges out. There we go. This piece hinges out, and then you've got your grapple gun attachment that goes on the end. But he does use a couple of different grapples during the course of the movie, especially near the end of the movie when he has the final confrontation with Joker. He has the bolo one that attaches Joker's leg to the statue, to the gargoyle statue, preventing him from escaping. And he does also have a third grapple gun attachment that hooks on while him and Vicky Vale are plummeting from the church or cathedral. But some nice detail. It is magnetized, with a little magnet there, which I'll discuss in a second, and that folds open like so. 9 minutes in, let's finally have a look at Batman. Sorry, Spot's gushing quite a bit here because this is such an incredible piece of art. It is essentially what it is. It's art. Batman's captured eloquently and perfectly done by Hot Toys here. Having a look at his face, let's move the camera up here and zooming into his face. That definitely looks like Michael Keaton. I think they did just an incredible job on the sculpt of Batman's face. I like how the eyes are sunken in there, and he's got the darker makeup around the eyes. Even though in Batman Returns he takes his cowl off, and I don't know how he all of a sudden just has flesh-colored eyes, but still. He does have 3 interchangeable plates that are actually featured on Batman head pieces. Now, this isn't a full Batman head, it's just a plastic piece. You take this plastic section off, and you have the alternate mouth pieces on the bottoms of those those plates. So these pieces just come off like so. And on the back of them is just magnet. It's just a big old magnet. So you can take Batman, and what they indicate in the instructions is that you can take the mouth and just kind of slide it. Now I found if you slide it and just kind of get your finger underneath there, you can take off the lower mouth of Batman, and then you just take your interchangeable mouth and snap it into place. Just adjust it slightly, and there you've got Batman in his damaged... I had assumed this would be near the end of the movie where he's emerged from the fallen bat wing. Or also, if you're not a fan of that particular mouth, he does also come with... Oops, get the camera to focus here. He does also come with a secondary head, secondary lower mouthpiece, which by comparison, you're going to have a more open mouth to the original mouth that was shown on the figure. And it's just more a matter of preference as to which you prefer. Again, you're just going to slide that mouth off, take the mouth, pop it back on like so, and you have Batman with a slightly open mouth. I'm not sure which one I prefer. I don't like the battle damaged mouth. For me, I'm just likely wanting to display Batman with a regular mouth. But of the two, I don't know if I like this one more so than I like the closed mouth. Both are still equally nice. Batman has an incredible side profile. I think they did a great job on that cowl. It's not as streamlined as what we would get with Batman Returns, and I'm really hoping that Hot Toys produces a Batman Returns version of Batman as well. As for the eyes, if I just turn around the back here, the back plate of the head, of the cowl, comes off, again, via a magnet. A very strong magnet on all of these, actually. And there is a trackball on the back here. Now when you move that, that will allow Batman to move his eyes. Left and right, and then up and down. It's a really effective way to have eye movement. Just great job. Let's just put that piece back on here. Like so. So there you have Batman's head. And top-notch, high marks for Hot Toys for producing such a fantastic looking piece. It doesn't obviously end right there. When you start getting down to his actual costume, all of Batman's costume is in the rubber suit. And it's rubber all the way from top to bottom, right down to his gauntlets with the blades on the sides. Now, unfortunately, I will say, having him in the rubber costume slightly gives him hindrance when moving joints. Now, normally a Hot Toys would have about 30 points of articulation. With Batman, he does have it, but unfortunately getting him to move those points, moving arms out, for example, aren't a problem. But when you start moving arms where any of that rubber starts bunching up, you'll notice right away that there's a slight give and resistance, I should say, to moving those arms. He does still have the bend in the elbows and whatnot, but you are obviously going to be quite hindered. He does have his, of course, going back to his bat logo, a nice bright yellow bat logo, which works perfectly with the black. Burton did a fantastic job of reimagining the Batman universe by putting him in the rubber and leather that he did. He's got his yellow utility belt. The utility belt is magnetized. For example, taking the grapple gun here and finding, let me just put that down for a second, finding the magnet on the grapple gun. You can take it and clip the grapple gun onto it. Now the instructions to Batman that came included with Batman, the instructions, move the camera down there for a second, also give you this, whoops, it gives you this attachment right here. The spot just dropped. This clamps onto the bat belt, the bat utility belt, and when you take this section off, you can then peg, you can actually peg that section of the grapple gun onto it, and then this can just clamp onto the utility belt, like so. You can obviously get it a better secure fit by just applying a little bit of pressure onto it, like so. Then you can take that, you can take your grapple gun, clamp that into place, and you got Batman ready to use the grapple gun. A really nice added touch. Your utility belt is removable as well, though truth be told, I don't see a reasoning why you should want to remove it. Obviously, getting it removed, you might have a little more of an issue taking it and putting it back on. And then lastly, I guess the only thing that I really want to discuss is the cape. The cape is surprisingly my least favorite part of the Batman Hot Toys. They went with what I can believe to be a simulated leather look, but I think the problem with it is because it's not a heavy enough fabric, it's very, very prone to wrinkling. And as you can see, by having him just on display, he's bunched up quite a bit down at the bottom, and he's not quite smooth. And part of me would love to have him, would love to iron the cape, but I'm not sure if that would ruin it, so I might just be inclined to leave it. But that's the only thing I would say as a hindrance to the Hot Toys Batman, is the fact that had the cape even just been a denser material, something more of a heavier material, I think it wouldn't be as prone to wrinkle. There's the back of the cape as well. And also, one thing that Hot Toys has included, if I get Batman to stand properly, they've also included additional poles that you can put into the cape, and if you wanted to, you can have Batman with his fully extended cape, depicted from the beginning of the movie. Now, in the way of his articulation, Batman's articulation would be the same as all other Hot Toys. He does have a slight movement in the head, but you're really going to get essentially the same movement as Michael Keaton got in the original Batman movie, that a lot of his movement more or less will reside from his waist, not so much from his head. As already indicated, his arms go forward, back, out. Not by a lot, mind you, but still quite a bit. It does bend at the elbow, but you'll notice that it starts bunching and starts giving you a little bit of restriction. He does have a full rotation in the hands, slight swivel in the waist, the legs go forward, back, out, slightly, and then bend at the knee in 2 points, a hinge foot, and also technically his boot would be able to rotate as well. Overall, I'm really happy with the figure. I think the only shortcomings for me is I wish they had put a little more give in like leg area and in the arm area where moving parts wouldn't be so restricted. Also, I think if the cape had just been slightly denser, maybe had it been a more denser rubber or like a denser fabric, I don't feel it would be as big of an issue when it comes to wrinkling. Because I find even, I don't have the Batmobile just yet, but if I do eventually want to get him with the Batmobile, to put Batman in the Batmobile, I think after a while I'd worry that the cape would really wrinkle. But I mean, that's such a small gripe compared to what we ended up getting. I think Hot Toys did such a fantastic job of producing this Batman. And I can only hope if Hot Toys sees the potential in it. We've already gotten a Mime Joker that's going to be released. I'm really hoping we're going to get an art exhibit Joker, as I mentioned in the review. I'm also really hoping we're going to get a Batman Returns Batman, because that for me would be something I would definitely pick up. All around, a great figure. If you can find it, it's worth picking up, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the Hot Toys Batman. Oh boy, what a great figure. Thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. Certainly stick around. Spot's got more collectible spots heading your way. I'll see you guys next time.